Discount Liquor.
And visit us online at discountliquorinc.com.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. Kyle Brust and Nortman. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The bag is packed with the sticks. The drinks are cold. And the scorecard's ready to go. Time to hit the links.
I don't even know what I said in the postgame show because I was watching. I probably was talking about Bryson and Rory for all I know.
This is On the Tee, presented by Wisconsin Golf Trips.
Exciting Brewers game ends with a guy getting gunned down at the plate. And Stevens,
Rory took the lead.
Stevens on Brewers Live talking about Bryson's up and down.
Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue. Alongside Bally Sports' Stephen Watson, here's Gabe Neitzel.
Xander Schauffele, your champion golfer of the year.
What a wild sentence.
Two-time major winner from a guy that couldn't close it out, that was always the close one. Now he picks up 2 major championships in this year alone, and now has made many major championships as guys like JT, John Rahm, Scotty Scheffler. It's a pretty elite company to be in. And then to win 2 major championships, again, that's stuff that Brooks Koepka's done in this class, or in this era. Jordan's done. Rory McIlroy has done that. It's very rare to win 2 in 1 year, and that's what Xander has done after firing a final round 65 on Sunday.
Yeah, credit out to Xander. He went out there and took it. And that was always what has been holding him back in his illustrious golf career, because it really has been a Hall of Fame career, despite not having won a major championship. The number of top 10s that he's had at major championships, but he couldn't close on Sundays. And that was what haunted him in his golf career. So what does he do? He goes out there and closes on 2 Sundays over major championships, 6 under at the Open, to go and take this one home.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, he just ran away and hit the back 9. Really, the last 5-6 holes kind of never felt like they were in doubt. And I feel a little for Billy Horschel, because you could tell how excited he was leading this thing going into Sunday. And if you told him, especially after what they had to deal with on Saturday, which was some of the most fun I've had watching golf because of the conditions that those guys had to play in, and you could tell Billy toughed it out. Shane Lowry wilted and then complained about it after the round. But if you told Billy Horschel, standing on the first tee box Sunday, hey, you're going to go shoot 68 today, I think he would take that and feel really good about his chances of winning. Instead, he ends up losing by a couple.
And the fact that Billy Horschel was even in this major is what makes this major so great, because it feels like, I know the PGA Championship is kind of the common man's championship among the 4 majors. Feels like the Open has kind of become that. With the storylines. The unlikeliest of guys tend to go out there and win this. You had Tristan Lawrence out there competing for a major on a Sunday, along with Billy Horschel.
Justin Rose.
Justin Rose trying to take his second major championship, won his first in 2013. I mean, this is what we've seen. Zach Johnson go out and win this event a couple years back. But that's kind of what I love about it, is the horses were all still there, amongst a lot of really good feel-good stories on a Sunday.
Yeah, and that's, again, you think about the Open Championship. I think of Marco Miro winning one late in his career. Obviously, he won the Masters that year as well in 1998. Tom Watson is the one everyone wants to bring up when he was 59 in that playoff at an 8-footer to win the Open Championship. And it's the one where experience, this place and Augusta, experience seems to matter. But Augusta, it's more about experience playing the course. This is just experience, I think, overall, and understanding how you have to shape shots and have to play in wind and do all these different things. In an era where everything is becoming more and more optimized because of equipment, because of fittings, because of TrackMan, this is a place where a lot of that gets thrown out the window. We saw that with Bryson, who got blown off the planet and not making the cut, because his equipment is optimized for his ball speed. He talked about this, to be hitting at 190 mile an hour ball speed with his driver. And with it being a little bit colder, ball wasn't doing that, so the ball was flying a little more offline. So that's something, I'm not saying Bryson can't win here, but the current version of Bryson can't win here. because you have to let go of, when I bring the club back to here, it's supposed to go this far. Right, because that's what he does even with his putts when he brings his GC quad onto the green to go, okay, I bring the putter back this far and the ball's going to go 15 feet. So you have to let go of some of that optimization, and you have to have this experience, and have to know how to do certain things and play in the elements that they have in the Open Championship, which is why I think you saw a lot of older players on top of that leaderboard. It's why a lot of older players kind of rise to the top anytime you have conditions like that in a British Open.
Yeah, and I think that's also what makes that championship fun is the unpredictability of the weather. And being on the right side or wrong side of the draw truly does matter to your score that weekend, because at some point the weather is going to impact your round. And for some guys, you saw what Justin Thomas did this weekend?
Oh, on Saturday. Because he finished up before the truly terrible stuff came in that Shane Lowry and Billy Horschel had to play in, where they were going driver on par fours and not getting there.
On the same 9, he shot a 45 and a 31 in this championship, on the same 9.
Mm-hmm. Justin Thomas, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's what this championship does to you.
And that's why I know Shane Lowry complained about it on Saturday, man. But watching Billy Horschel get up and down from just about everywhere, like he just accepted, hey, I can't remember, maybe it was Tristan, I can't remember who it was on the 17th, decided to hit 3-wood, knowing they were going to come up short on a par 3. Because he couldn't bring himself to hit driver on a par 3. Because that's how much the wind was into you on that hole. And some guys accept it, and other guys didn't, which is why, again, this championship, I think more than any other, will test your mental game.
Yeah.
And we talked about this a lot at Pinehurst number 2. How are you going to accept breaks? And maybe you get a break if you hit it into kind of the sandy areas instead of the rough that they have there. And especially in link-style golf, you're going to get bad breaks. Unless you're Tiger circa 2000 when he didn't hit a single bunker when he won the British Open by 5-6 strokes, whatever it was.
Yeah, he was a robot. You can't compare anything to that.
You're going to get a bad break where the ball rolls into the bunker, or it rolls into a place where it's not supposed to be, or you're going to catch the bad side of the draw. And how do you handle that mentally? Shane Lowry didn't handle it well. Billy Horschel handled it better. Xander Schauffele handled it fantastically. I think this tests you mentally just as much as anything else because of some of the conditions you can run into.
And I know that Xander gets a bad rep for who he is as a person and how he's kind of just boring and vanilla, but it's amazing the talent that we've seen rise to the top in this golf season. 2 guys who are just unfazed, aren't overly emotional in Scottie Scheffler and Xander Schauffele, are the 2 best golfers in the world right now, Gabe.
They are. And do you think, I heard this idea floated by our friends when I was listening to their recap podcast at No Laying Up. Is it possible that Xander Schauffele becomes more interesting? Because now, instead of when he goes to a major championship, he's a 2-time major champion.
Like sure is.
That comes with a different cachet. He used to be the guy.
He's a Hall of Famer now.
Oh, without a doubt. And it used to be, people would kind of probably ask him before the tournaments, hey, when do you think you're going to close one of these out? When do you think you're going to get yours? When are you going to finally break through and win that major championship? And instead, now he gets to be asked the same bigger questions about golf that we ask of Scotty and John Rahm and Rory McIlroy. Like, you get asked these bigger picture things, and you're going to be asked different things because now your level in the game is higher. This is the best player in the world. Xander Schauffele is the best player in the world. And I know we had this conversation, and I was pushing back when we were talking about it after Scotty won the Masters. And I understood a lot of the data golf stuff, a lot of the data was pointing towards, and still does. Like, what Scotty does is unbelievable. In terms of being a driver of the golf ball, ball striker of the golf ball, we haven't seen this good of a ball striker since Tiger for Scotty Scheffler. The problem is, you got to be able to close out. And that's why I pushed back. Okay, yeah, sure, best iron player since Tiger. But the unfair expectation was you got to go out there and win 2. And then Xander Schauffele's the one who goes out there and wins 2 and now matches Scotty's total. And Scotty's having 2 green jackets is pretty awesome. But also,
wardrobe looks great.
Now there are questions of, all right, Scotty, great you got 2. can you win somewhere other than Augusta National?
Well, the unfortunate thing for Scotty this week is that his putting yips seemed to return, and that was what was holding him back from winning major championships, was that he wasn't putting well.
That gets accentuated on the slower greens that they have in the Open Championship.
Yeah. I'm not ready to fall off the Scotty train.
No, neither am I. But the questions get amplified instead of us just cruising with him being like, oh, my God, this guy is fantastic. He's got work to do to be the best of his generation.
Well, I remember on this show all of last year, I think I picked Xander Schauffele to win every major, and I went 0 for 4. And I was like, this guy has got to get over the top at some point, right? And it was really at Augusta last year where you just felt for him. He was so close. He was on that back nine and had a chance. If you really look into the numbers of what Xander has done in his career major championships, he's one of one right now, Gabe. He has participated in 30 major championships. He has 15 top 10s.
It's ridiculous.
That is 50%. That is higher than any golfer over the last 50 years who has played in a minimum of 25 majors. That's higher than Tiger's percentage, Jack's percentage, Scheffler, Rahm, Koepka, Rory, you name it. Rory is in second place at 49%.
It's a sample size thing, but go ahead.
Of course. Yes. I'm sure
manipulating numbers and whatnot.
But 15 top 10 finishes in 30 major championships and now 2 wins. This year, he had an 8, a 1, a T7, and a 1 in major championships.
Yeah, and Bryson was talked about as potentially having one of the best years this year in major championships until he missed the cut because he was, top 10 at Augusta, finished second at the PGA, obviously won, and oh man, if he does something here and misses the cut. And now it's Xander, who ends up having one of the best major years since Jordan Spieth. The last one to do what you're talking about, 4 top 10s, 2 wins. Jordan Spieth did that back in 2015.
And the last golfer to win 2 in 1 year was Brooks Koepka in 2018. And Brooks has 5. They're not in the same class at this point. But I'll tell you what, the way Xander operates and the consistency in which he plays in and competes in, he feels like a guy that can get to 4, get to 5.
He's picked up speed with his driver, working with Chris Como now this year. So he's picked up speed with the driver, and he's a tremendous putter. Like that's the one thing that he's got going. And if you looked at the different strokes gained metric, he's not as good as Scotty. He's in strokes gained off the tee to green, but he's light years better with the putter. And that's where he makes up the difference between him and Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, and iron play, the way he was sticking shots.
Oh, yeah, his
pin.
iron play, he's still like a world-class iron player. He's just not as good as Scotty Scheffler. The difference is, he's closer to Scotty with the iron play than Scotty is here with the putter, and that's where he starts to separate himself.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Xander. I get that he's not the sexiest golfer. He's not the biggest personality that you're going to have on the PGA Tour, but whether you like it or not, and whether he likes it or not, he's a face in this game now. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited to see how he handles that responsibility moving forward.
His dad's already a character, man. Stephen Schauffele, sign me up for more Stephen Schauffele. I'll tell you that right now. That man is a character. And then to see the pictures of the two of them smoking cigars, and we saw a little bit of that cigar smoking Xander at Whistling Straits after the Ryder Cup a few years ago.
Him sliding down the hill with the cigar in his mouth.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Whistling Straits moments.
That personality is in there. I'm willing to bet it's going to start coming out now that he now that he's got 2 majors to his name.
Yeah, the monkey's off his back ×2. And maybe as golf fans, we're going to start to see a little bit more of what Xander's all about. But, man, watching that guy play golf never gets old at this point.
We have more reaction to the British Open coming up next. But if you want to play some of those great courses, like I just saw the Senior Open being played at Carnoustie. Women's Open this year is at the Old Course. Time is running out. It's going to be ending soon. So you want to sign up now. Come with us to Scotland in October, thanks to our friends at Wisconsin Golf Trips. Jason has set up such an amazing trip for us. We only have a handful of spots left. So text 800-990-3776. And if you text golf to that, you will get the entire itinerary. See where we're staying, the courses that we're playing, everything and more. Steven and I have already purchased our flights, so you want to be a part of this. Play some of the best golf courses in the world. When we go over there, play places like Kingsbarns, Carnoustie, the Castle Course, the new course, the Jubilee. So many great courses that we're going to be playing. Text golf GOLF to 800-990-3776 and head with us to Scotland thanks to our friends at Wisconsin Golf Trips. And Wisconsin Golf Trips, of course, brings you On the Tee.
Back to the course and On the Tee with Gabe and Steven after this on 94.5 ESPN. All the big plays.
Crushed. Left field. Way back. Gone.
Every single week.
Here's the pitch from Abreu. Oh, he drilled him on the shoulder, and the benches are starting to clear.
Major League Baseball on ESPN Radio happens right here.
In there. And that does it. History in the desert.
Tune in for baseball's biggest matchups here on 94.5 ESPN and streaming on the Wisconsin On Demand app.
Hey guys, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Gabe Neitzel here to give you some advice. If you're making plans to propose to that special someone in your life, the Jewelry Center has to be your stop for the ring. It's what I did. They're the best place to shop for diamond engagement rings in Milwaukee for a reason. I didn't know what to get, but with help of a Pinterest board, the Jewelry Center and their team of specialists took care of everything from start to finish. Naturally mined diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, whatever you're in the market for, when it comes to an engagement ring, the Jewelry Center has it. Find locations and inventory online at shoptjc.com.
Hey, this is former Wisconsin basketball player Ben Brust, inviting you to the Wisconsin Alumni Association's Milwaukee Golf Outing. On August 3rd, UW alumni, friends, and family are teeing off at Kettle Hills Golf Course. I'll be out there along with plenty of other former Wisconsin athletes, so join me. Foursomes are $500 or sign up as an individual for $125. Each golfer plays with a cart, gets beverages, and post-round dinner. Find full details and register today at uwalumni.com. Again, that's uwalumni.com.
Celebrate 42 years of tradition at Milwaukee's original house party. Join us on Milwaukee's beautiful lakefront, July 26th, 27th, and 28th for authentic German food, music, beer, and dancing. Experience the excitement of the Glockenspiel, Dachshund Derby, Culture Village, Mardi Gras Show, Trauchenschau, Sheep's Head Tournament, and much more. For more information, tickets, and admission discounts, visit GermanFest.com. Don't miss the fun. See you at GermanFest. Holla!
When the power goes out, your life is disrupted. Heat, air conditioning, refrigeration, phones, all gone. Be prepared for the next outage with a Generac home standby generator. After sensing a power outage, a Generac generator automatically restores your home's power, whether you're home or away. Power your life with a generator from Adams, Wisconsin's #1 rated Generac dealer. Adams provides sales, installation, maintenance, and 24/7 service from all locations. Learn why Adams is your best choice in providing power peace of mind. Visit adamspower.com today.
From big tailgate parties to cozy dinners for two, the freshest ideas start with a stop at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 6-pack 0.5-liter bottle or 7.5-ounce mini can selected varieties Coke products, 4 for $17. 48 ounces selected varieties Cedar Crust ice cream, $3.99. 4 to 12 count or 16-ounce selected varieties Halo Top ice cream or bars, $3.99. 45-ounce tub Imperial spread, $3.99.
Why'd you throw my glass across the room?
I have to keep practicing.
The vase from Aunt Sophie?
I'm warming up in case I get to take them out at American Family Field. Read this.
Win the ultimate baseball fan experience at Century Foods?
You either get to throw out the first pitch, hold the finish line for the famous racing sausages, or be on the field during batting practice. My new TV!
Just doing a little batting practice of my own.
The ultimate baseball fan experience. Return the entry form found in the weekly ad to any Century by July 24th.
You've probably heard about employee stock ownership plans before, but what separates Fifth Third Bank from others when it comes to these plans? A succession plan that benefits business owners and employees. Full and partial sales, second stage transactions, repurchase obligation financing, and seller note refinancing, ESOPs can offer tax advantages, increased liquidity, employee incentives, and overall diversification of net worth to help your company plan for the future. Fifth Third Bank, National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
You're listening to On the Tee with Gabe Neitzel and Stephen Watson on 94.5 ESPN.
On the Tee, we're coming to you live from X Golf at American Family Field. Stephen and I had an opportunity earlier today, hole-in-one challenge. Each had 50 swings at the par 3 7th hole at Pebble Beach. Both got close. Spoiler alert, didn't happen, but we're going to have some great content coming out around that. So keep an eye on ESPN Milwaukee's social media channels. I love it. X Golf American Family Field is a unique one to the different X Golfs that my buddies own in the Milwaukee area, Mequon and Brookfield. Here at X Golf at AmFam Field, beautiful view of what they have out there on the baseball field here at X Golf AmFam Field. Great place to catch a game. Great place to come work on your swing.
Yeah, and they have a roof here too, so not like Wrigley. So it's nice that you can enjoy the beautiful view inside of American Family Field. I mean, this really is an unbelievable setting to swing a golf club. You think about like the golf that we love and the opportunity that we're going to have going overseas and seeing some historic golf and unbelievable settings and backdrops. To swing a golf club and look out and see a baseball stadium to your right, it's pretty incredible. Or sorry, to you. Behind you?
Yeah, sure.
It's really a very special experience, so I recommend everybody get out here at some point.
So it's great. Again, you can book your sim time and get your game tickets. Just go to the Brewers Single Game Ticket website. And then once you're up here, enjoy some of the great food and beverage options that they have. A unique menu up here, some great food and beverage options. So make sure you're checking that out next time you come out to AmFam Field. But with the Open Championship wrapped up, Stephen, you had a couple of things that you wanted to bring up.
Well, Gabe, you have said many times, and I think I defend you to a certain extent, that you believe the PGA Championship should be in August.
Yes.
And a lot of that is because we would love to see it back here in the Midwest, and particularly maybe at Whistling Straits or somewhere else in Wisconsin. Do you believe the Open should be the last major of the year?
I mean, so I kind of like it just because the PGA for so long has struggled to find what its identity is. And I think where they can kind of settle, like, they used to have a slogan as part of their marketing campaign, Glory's last shot, because it was the last major of the year, and they were trying to figure out where they fit, because even though it is an old championship, and the Wanamaker Trophy is amazing, I feel like it isn't looked at similarly to the Masters and the U.S. Open and the Open. Now I think, especially with everything that's gone on with LIV, I think the PGA should be leaning harder into this is the hardest field in men's professional golf. I think that's what they need to lean into. But there is something about the British Open being the last and all of the history and everything that goes into the Open. There is kind of something cool about this being the last major championship.
I think it's golf in its purest form, and I think it should bookend the golf season and be the final major, with the Masters leading us off. And I think the way that it puts a bow on an incredible year, the Champion Golfer of the Year is the greatest title we have in this game. If you have that on the top of your resume, right. I mean, you're doing something
Champion
right.
Golfer of the Year.
But I would love to see the PGA Championship potentially be a hybrid model of when it is played.
Okay.
I want to see the Open move to August, and I want to see the potential of May or July for the PGA Championship. And you do it based off the site that you want to play it at. So if you want to play in the Midwest, let's play it in July. If you want to play it somewhere else, East Coast, West Coast, Florida.
Yeah, someplace warmer and you can kind of get away with it, play it in May.
Here's my next solution.
Okay. Hit me.
Put the FedEx Cup in the middle of the golf season, leading into, or right before the Open. So the FedEx Cup leads into the Open, and the Open caps off the golf season, gives you an actual off season, leading into the TGL, what we hope is going to actually launch here in January.
Who could say?
And the Hawaii-California swing at the beginning of the golf season. I think we need a little break from golf in November and December. You could even throw in October. It depends on what the President's Cup, Ryder Cup schedule would look like. But I would love to see the Open be the exclamation point on a golf season in general. I don't want to see the FedEx Cup after it. I just want it to be the final event of the year. And I don't think the weather matters, because it doesn't matter if it's June, July, August, September. Yeah. You're going to get crazy conditions at the Open every single year.
Yeah, plenty of guys wearing the winter caps here in July. Maybe it gets a little bit warmer, a chance to bake out. It just gets so wild over there. Yeah, I think you're right. It doesn't really matter. Man,
because I don't think in the near future we're going to have a difference of what our schedule looks like. I don't think LIV and PGA Tour are going to be coming together anytime soon.
Correct.
So allow LIV to have their season. You do your FedEx Cup, and you're all building toward the Open. The Open is the penultimate event of the year for both of these tours.
You could talk me into doing the the FedEx Cup in July. I think you could certainly talk me into that. I'd still like to figure out some way to get more of a Midwest swing in there, and I understand
it could be end of July, early August.
Well, yeah,
and the Open is at the end of August. Something where you want to throw the PGA in July, you throw it, July 4th weekend
and that's the problem, because you would interrupt the PGA Tour schedule, and heaven forbid they interrupt the FedEx Cup, because I would love for them to be able to figure out a way. And it would be tough because of the wraparound portion of the schedule. But the best time to be watching golf, at least for us here in the Midwest, and I'm assuming in the Northeast and places where you get snow and it's cold and you're not playing golf 12 months a year, the best golf viewing is in January, February, early March. And that's when they're playing some of the premier events at the premier courses on the PGA Tour. I mean, arguably two of the best 5 venues they play at, 2 of the best tournaments they play, Pebble Beach, Riviera, are early. And wouldn't you want to have your FedEx Cup championship at one of those great golf courses? Now, again, it'd be tough to kind of figure out how you do a year-end championship at the beginning of the year. That's the tough part of it. But I would love to see those tournaments figure out a way to mean more. And look, now's the time to be creative, man. Like, now is the time. You're kind of blowing everything up anyway. Why not try different things?
Why not give guys January and February off instead of giving them November and December off, and you do that swing in November and December, and that's your FedEx Cup to end the calendar year.
You know the problem with that.
NFL?
Yep. They want to avoid the NFL. They want to still have their events that they can put on Golf Channel, like the Sanderson Farms and the Fortinets that they do that I know Max has won a couple of times. They want to be able to throw those on the Golf Channel, still have events for their members, but They want to completely avoid the NFL, and it's tough. It's a tough thing to try to figure out and put together.
Yeah, I just loved I loved everything about this weekend, and I feel satisfied as a golf fan. And that's why I want it to be the last one, because I feel like, you know what? I'm done for the year.
Well, because as much as I love, again, golf in the Midwest, and we don't have an event here in Milwaukee or Wisconsin, so I don't want to take away from Detroit and the Rocket Mortgage, or this week in the 3M. But I'm not really paying attention to the 3M. Like, I'm glad that Minnesota has an event, but I just, I mean, it. And I've never
look at the field, and I think.
Well, that's the thing. I've never contemplated going up there because, I mean, the best player they've ever had in that field, I think Bryson played in it, like when he was younger, and Tony Finau kind of comes back to it.
I think of it as a Tony Finau event.
Yeah. But that's like the biggest name they get.
Yeah.
So if they got some of the bigger names, I'd contemplate going up for it and checking it out, because it's the easiest. It would be the easiest one for us to get to here in Wisconsin. That's a consistent PGA Tour stop. But I mean, I don't really care. And then they're going to have another event, which I think is the Wyndham, and then the playoffs are going to be starting sometime after the Olympics, and it just all gets kind of, oh yeah, the BMW, oh yeah, the FedEx, and it's just
that's a whole other element to this year, is throwing the Olympics into the golf
and it's
schedule
just the playoffs are going to be complete afterthought.
Yeah.
And I think it would be more fun to have a chase going on to kind of grab your attention, because the other thing, especially now, after you get past that Hawaii part and Pebble and Riv and all those places they play out west, well, then weather kind of starts to turn, and especially with Liv, the majors the only thing that matter anyway. Like, I feel like, and we talked about this, I paid attention to PGA Tour golf, even the big events like Memorial, less than I ever have. And if you tried something a little bit different and finished up the FedEx Cup in July, early August before the Open, I think everything's worth exploring, and I don't think this is a bad idea.
Yeah, and I also think it helps build momentum if TGL is really what they feel like is the future of golf, and golf viewership is that type of golf experience for fans. It allows you to have a full break going into that, plus, of course, the Pebble and Hawaii swing.
Yeah, I like the idea. I think that you could potentially be onto something, because the Open, and all the history and the pomp and circumstance that goes into it, does feel like a nice exclamation point on the end of the season.
NBC's final week of August, the Open. NFL starts Labor Day week. There you go.
Seems like we should be able to figure it out. It seems like this should be easy enough to figure out, right? All right, before we wrap up our conversation on the Open, and we have on Andy Barrett, who's the general manager, head pro here at X Golf at American Family Field. Who's the best golfer in the world right now? Because I think at different points, after the Masters, he was clearly Scotty. I don't think Xander entered that conversation after he won the PGA. I think there was certainly a conversation about Bryson after what he did at the U.S. Open, given that he was second at the PGA, finished top 10 at the Masters. I think there was a conversation for Bryson. But who do you say is the best golfer in the world right now?
I still think it's Scotty. I think that the season that Xander had was remarkable. But if those two were playing, I still would put my money on Scotty.
Whose season would you rather have?
I mean,
like, what is it, 7 PGA Tour wins in the Masters or two majors?
You always want more majors.
And that's why I think Xander Schauffele is, especially, I would think about it longer and harder, especially because the wins that Scotty has on the PGA Tour, the signature events when the fields are elevated a little bit more, everybody's there. But the four events that truly everybody is there that matters in the game of golf, Xander won half of them this year. Like, I feel with the majors being even more elevated than they possibly have ever been, at least in our lifetime. Maybe back in the 80s, early 90s when the European Tour was still incredibly strong and guys like Nick Faldo and were true, hey, this is my home, I play on the European Tour type thing. I think that with these 4 tournaments being truly the only that matter, winning is very important. And I don't want to take away with what Scotty's doing, but winning 2 out of the 4 that mean the absolute most is damn impressive. And to me, that means that Xander Schauffele is the best player in the world.
And I don't think it should be lost that the ones that Scotty won include the Players, Bay Hill.
Oh, 100%. That's what I'm saying.
Not sleeper Memorial, not sleeper tournaments.
And that's why I would think if Liv never came along and we still had these elevated events, based on the events, I think it's more of a conversation. But because all of the big players are only there 4 times, and you win half of those events, it's pretty clear-cut in my mind. This guy now has as many majors as Scotty. He's on that same level. And I don't think he's slowing down. It seems like he's kind of cracked the code now.
All right, we got to talk to Andy, but I got one more for you after we talk to Andy.
Well, one more after we talk to Andy?
I got one more for you. After,
okay. Yeah. All right, we're going to talk to Andy Barrett, friend of mine, also general manager, head golf pro here at X Golf at American Family Field, to let you know everything happening right here at X Golf. We do that coming up next, but first I do want to tell you about our friends at the Bog. We were just out there last week. We're going to be out there again later this golf season to tell you more about it, but it is a beautiful piece of property on a very unique piece of land up there in Saukville. So if you want to book your next tee time for a challenging, fun round of golf, just go to golfthebog.com. That's golfthebog.com. Enjoy golf. Enjoy the Bog.
No ifs, ands, or puts. There's more On the Tee with Gabe and Steven coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Hi, I'm David Gruber. When you've been seriously injured, you need the best team of professionals on your side. Call Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices to get the results you deserve. One call, that's all.
Golfers, listen up. It's Gabe Neitzel from On the Tee, and we are heading to Scotland with our friends at Wisconsin Golf Trips. That's right, Scotland. You can join myself and Stephen Watson as we head overseas to play some of the best courses in the world. This package includes green fees, lodging, transportation, and more. But there are only a limited amount of spots available, so sign up now. For information on the trip and a link for paying, you can text GOLF right now to the ESPN Milwaukee Talk and Text line at 800-990-3776. That's GOLF to 800-990-3776.
This is Kevin Van Rossum, president of Three Tree Marketing. Send gifts to appreciate anyone, anywhere, anytime with a gift of your choice by using our gifting solutions technology. Our team handles it all, from concepting, site creation, as well as production of branded products. Elevate your brand's connection to its consumers by creating the ultimate gifting experience with us. Make the art of gifting effortless for yourself. At Three Tree Marketing, we chase partners, not orders. Visit threetreemarketing.com to see what we can do for you.
Wow, Wayne, that is a beautiful window.
It sure is, Jeff. It really tackles energy efficiency.
Sure has a nice slide.
It's one of the best screenplays I've ever seen.
They're so easy to close. I'd say it's a grand slam.
If you guys keep making those dad jokes, you're going to be a real pain in my neck.
Oh, that's a good one. Did you hear about this one?
While those two go on and on, let me share something that is not a joke. Order today from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and pay as low as $18 per window and $81 per patio door per month. The installation is completed with no mess and no hassle, leaving nothing but perfect results. A new patio door or front door makes for the perfect backstop. How is that one, guys? Ugh, they're gone. Jeff and Wayne love doing the Irish goodbye. Anyway, moving on from the dad jokes, don't miss this great deal from Pella. Get as low as $18 per window and $81 per patio door per month. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply at 7/31/2024. We all love Saturdays, but are they really all that rewarding? I mean, do you really feel rewarded after mowing the lawn or doing all your I gotta do this because today's the weekend, whatevers? Well, Potawatomi wants your Saturdays to be the most rewarding ever with a share of $400,000 in cash and prizes. Just play this July for prize drawing entries. Win on Saturdays. Plus, each Potawatomi rewards level gets their own drawing. Rewarding Saturdays at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. For more details, visit paysbig.com/rewarding. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Another MVP has joined the roster at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Dr. Ryan Stefanchek. Board certified in sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation, Dr. Stefanchek specializes in non-operative treatment of the spine, chronic pain, all joints, all musculoskeletal problems, and more, emphasizing holistic care first, with a focus on diet, sleep, stress management, and social connections for a patient's well-being. At Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference.
Golfers, listen up. It's Gabe Neitzel from On the Tee, and we are heading to Scotland with our friends at Wisconsin Golf Trips. That's right, Scotland. You can join myself and Stephen Watson as we head overseas to play some of the best courses in the world. This package includes green fees, lodging, transportation, and more. But there are only a limited amount of spots available, so sign up now. For information on the trip and a link for paying, you can text GOLF right now to the ESPN Milwaukee Talk and Text line at 800-990-3776. That's GOLF to 800-990-3776.
We know that the people of Wisconsin are hard workers, that they're tough. But even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
This is On the Tee with Gabe Neitzel and Stephen Watson on 94.5 ESPN.
X-Golf, American Family Field, the site of On the Tee tonight. Excited to be joined by a friend of mine, also the general manager here at X-Golf, American Family Field, Andy Barrett. Andy, thanks for jumping on, buddy. Thanks for having us out here.
Welcome to X-Golf. I'm glad you're here. I even brought you a little present, of our famous Pizza Crust pizza. It's my personal favorite. I'm not just saying that. That is my favorite because I worked hard to get this pizza in here. It's awesome.
So before we get into everything here at X-Golf and AmFam Field, who's the best player in the world right now on the men's side?
Yeah, I heard your conversation, and let me just start with I like both of you, okay?
But you're both wrong.
No. Well, number one ranking is the number one ranking. You got to start there. Yep. Alexander Schauffele, I think, is tapping Scotty on his back saying, I'm nipping at your heels a little bit. When you guys were having that conversation, I think that would be a great the match.
Oh, sure.
With Scotty and Alexander, because I think a lot of people are asking
that question. It'd be riveting
television
there. They'd be so good.
It would be so good. So then you guys can have your radio show.
That's where having Phil Mickelson around is always helpful on those matches. But unfortunately, I think he burned some bridges.
Yeah, really? What happened?
Yeah.
No, but that would be a great match, and I think that would because I think a lot of people are asking the same questions that you guys were just having a conversation about, and I think put it on TV, boom, there you go.
Andy, you didn't answer.
I like Alexander.
Yeah,
he seems to have the clutch factor a little bit.
Yeah,
I think mentally, golf is just not physical; it's mental. And I think when he broke free on his first major and making that last putt on that last hole, I think that was a clutch moment. I think that broke the mold.
Yeah, you could feel it.
And you can feel it, and then you can see how he plays. He's dominant. He clearly was the best player. He was making the putts. He was making the shots. He wasn't faltering, and I think he got over that hump. And now I'm very curious to see where he goes, to see if he does pass Scotty. Because Scotty is still ranked number one, but I do like Alexander.
Hey, listen, I appreciate that we're having a debate about that.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, that's great for the game that we're saying who's the best player in the world. Scotty didn't have such a bad major season.
But
8, 7, T41 at the U.S. Open, but 3 top 10s.
3 top 10. I mean, he did the same thing last year, where it's like, okay, just pick him to finish in the top 5. His putting's going to hold him back, and his putting certainly held him back at the British Open. But we're hanging out at X Golf at American Family Field. What's the best thing that you guys have going here?
Are you starting to call it Xander Golf now here?
You know what? Let me talk to the higher ups there, and maybe I doubt it's going to happen, but I'll ask the question. No, this is a great place. You guys see the view. I hear you guys talking about it. The food is fantastic. I just talked about the pizza.
Incredible bar area.
It's a great bar area, great drinks, great food. Chef Bo is awesome, and he just produces some good food and some creative ideas. And my favorite thing is that this place is for everybody. Even if you're a non-golfer, you have a home here, and if you come here with golfers, you'll find something to do, whether it be the view, the patio, the food, or just having a social time. Some people can kind of play golf. New packages to kind of cater to whatever your needs are, sim bundle to full buyouts. It just has a whole unique thing. We check off a lot of boxes, and it's home for everyone. Golfers, non-golfers, everyone's welcome. Everyone has a home.
And it's amazing that it's open all year round. And, a lot of people associate this with just being on game days. But the fact that you guys are open all year round, you have a ton of leagues in the wintertime. I think a lot of people are starting to fall in love with sim golf.
I think about 5 years ago, the technology crossed the line. 5-6 years ago, the technology crossed the line to where it becomes a business, where people will be attracted to it. Before that, I thought the software was a little bit weak, and now it's getting better and better to where this is something to do during the wintertime, whether it be leagues. We throw a bunch of Christmas parties, corporate parties here, just abundant. And when I hear people leave, they say this was the best one yet. And it's just a unique wow factor that you get here, and it works. It's a fun place.
What makes the simulators here at X Golf? So you talk with Andy Barrett, General Manager, X Golf at American Family Field. What separates, do you think, the X Golf simulators versus a different simulator?
Well, one is everything's franchise, so our software is constantly getting updated. We're never falling behind on the software. But what really sets us apart, which I think is very difficult for indoor golf simulation, is putting.
Yes, 100%.
We have hands down. There's a lot of indoor golf simulations that don't even have putting because it's that difficult. We have as good a putting as you can possibly imagine for indoor golf. And so when you play around a golf from tee to green, you get the whole aspect of using all the clubs in your bag, and putting does matter. And you can be a very good putter, indoors, and a bad putter indoors, and your skill definitely shows.
Yeah, and I think that's really reflected because you guys had, before we kicked off the outdoor golf season here, the WSGA was hosting championships here, part of their Net Partner Series, part of their Scramble Series. You guys were hosting WSGA events. That's how good the simulators are.
That was an awesome event. I love that event. I think we're going to be doing more and maybe even a series, and we're in constant conversation with the WSGA and Rob. What great partners. The Wisconsin PGA is doing other events at other X Golfs up at Brookfield. I wouldn't be shy to bring them here to do that as well. But it's becoming national events. And here's one cool thing about indoor golf and X Golf, the franchise, is you can play national events and play against people that are in another state and play on the same leaderboard and kind of play along. So it just has a whole bunch of different possibilities. We're exploring them all, and we're hitting some home runs. No pun intended. Well, maybe a little bit of pun intended. but with the WSGA, that was a really cool event. Whether it be a club championship, you played in that before here too. You're a very good X Golf player. That's why you're here. You're so good at X Golf. You're right home. I mean, the guy
Tell me about it.
He's a stud. He's a stud.
Yeah, we had a hole-in-one challenge, and he made me look silly. I shanked like 3 into the Pacific Ocean, and we had a lot of fun, though. Have you done a hole-in-one challenge out here? Have you ever had a hole-in-one? I know you spend most of your time teaching as a PGA professional.
We do give a lot of lessons here. I have had one hole-in-one against Will Barrett, our friend Will Barrett, which made it all the more rewarding. You know how that goes when you do it against a good friend. But our hole-in-one here, I want to see more hole-in-ones, because if you get one here, you get to go down Bernie Slide. You and a buddy get to come back for a future game of your choice and go down Bernie Slide 5 times, and all you need to do is get a hole-in-one on a regulation round. We're trying to expand it because we haven't had a lot, so we're going to expand it to our Beat the Pro contest and other things. But here, if you get a hole-in-one at American Family Field, you do get to go down Bernie Slide, and you get to bring someone with you. So I'm all for hole-in-ones, and I want to see someone get a hole-in-one. No one's won it yet. We haven't done it for a long time. It started at the beginning of the season, but I'm looking for a hole-in-one.
Yeah, they're tough to come by, no matter what. How many holes-in-one do you have outside?
I have two and a half. I know.
It's just kind of hanging on the lip or what?
I was running some juniors and watching over them, and it was 99 yards. They never played golf. I kind of grabbed their club, and I hit it like, this is how you swing the club, and I hit it. It goes in the hole. The kids never played golf. I just hit in the hole, and the kids are sitting there like nothing happened. I'm like, guys, I just hit
easy game.
I just hit it in the hole, and they're like, what does that even mean? And I tried to put in the paper. This is years ago, and it has to be 100 yards. And I said 99. So that's my half. That's my half.
So 2.5.
I thought you were going to tell us that you had a hole in 3 there for a second.
No. Like Freddie Couples. Like,
yeah.
No. I count as a half, and everyone. It's a fun story.
What does this place look like on a game day?
It has a different electricity to it, where you come here with the 5 Sims. Like today, the Sims are here. Actually, later we have a little bit of a party along with your party here. But on a game day, you have a different vibe. You get a whole bunch of different people. You got the patio outside that you can enjoy the outdoor atmosphere. Indoors here for air conditioning is huge. You got people all over the place. You got people golfing, eating, drinking, cheering. If I have to do some work in my office, I know exactly what's going on with the game. I hear the cries and the cheers, and it's electric. I love it here. Some games are busier than others because we have marquee games, giveaway games, but I love the busy games here. Everyone's around. The Brewers are having a good season. That means a lot of people are in a really good mood. You get to look out on the field. You get the national anthem. You get the crowd cheers. It's awesome. I love it.
And everybody with a ticket to the game can actually access here. You just can book on Brewers.com to actually book a sim, right?
If you're in the stadium, you can come in next golf and sit down pretty much wherever you want. Obviously, if you want to play golf, make a reservation. But we have a lot of seating in other places. But all you got to do is be in the stadium, and you can come and walk right in here. We got our outdoor patio crowd, which is one of my favorite places to be, is out on the patio. We got leather recliners that I catch people sleeping on all the time during the game. I don't know if that has to do with tailgating, but I think that has something to do with it. But we're such a unique venue, and I think there's 3 things that really we hit on. Is we have our own kitchen with premium food, like I mentioned, Chef Bo. We have our own restroom here, which I think a lot of people appreciate. And everything is table service. Wherever you are, you get served by a server, coming around to take your order. And so those 3 aspects, I think a lot of people enjoy.
If you want to combine it all, Brewers.com, the single ticket website. If you want to book sim time on a non-game day, that's xgolfamfanfield.com. Andy, thank you so much for having us out here. Thanks for jumping on with us today, bud.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Xander Golf. Come check it out.
Xander, yep. You're not going to be... Take care, guys.
What's fantastic as well, a new partner here on the tee. Andy was just out there playing with me yesterday. We have been out there plenty of times. Of course, I am talking about the Wisconsin Country Club. And they have an open house coming up August 1st from 4 until 6:30. What's great about Wisconsin Country Club, no assessments ever, no food and beverage minimums, and it's a beautiful course that is challenging. I had Andy out there along with a couple of other buddies. One's the pro over at X Golf at Brookfield, and Andy's been out there a couple times with me. The other 2 hadn't been out there in a while, and some of these greens, they're so tough. Everything's hard, but they were having such a fun time doing it. It is a great golf course. It's why Steven and I love being members at Wisconsin Country Club. So you can check out their themed Sunday Fun Days at the pool. So many great things going on with the Wisconsin Country Club if you're looking for a great place to join and a great place to play golf. Steven's got one more open-related question he wants to ask me that is coming up next on the tee.
Forget about changing that dial. More On the Tee with Gabe and Steven next on 94.5 ESPN. Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Also sponsored by Coors Light.
I think I'm going to have to bring Romeo Dobbs into the Tausch stand category and start promoting and pushing him more.
Wilde and Tausch.
I feel like he is just so
criminally.
Like, he's an afterthought for too many Packer fans, and I think he's going to have a bust-out year.
Weekdays 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Awarded Best of Weddings 2023 by The Knot, the Bog is much more than world-class golf. Our clubhouse ballroom offers floor-to-ceiling windows and a breathtaking full-wall fireplace. Our barn venue was inspired by the on-site barn at Hole 6, built in the 1800s. 2 outdoor ceremony sites, and a variety of personalized options. Our venues are perfect for family get-togethers, weddings, showers, graduation parties, or any event you are hosting. Call The Bog at 262-292-0740 or visit thebarnofthebog.com.
Is your business looking for localized banking solutions and a strategic partner? Fifth Third Bank has been looking forward to the future and helping businesses shape what's next for 165 years and for the last 15 here in Milwaukee. They offer industry-specific expertise, local decision-making capabilities, and extensive experience to help navigate the complexities of a constantly changing business market environment. With your business in mind, commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, custom solutions built around your goals, member FDIC.
College volleyball is coming to the Cream City. The Women's College Volleyball Showcase at Pfizer Forum happens September 1st and 2nd, and it features women's college volleyball powerhouse Wisconsin Badgers Volleyball. It'll be a Labor Day weekend to remember as 4 of the top programs in the nation compete. Wisconsin, Texas, Minnesota, and Stanford all battling it out. You do not want to miss out. The fun starts September 1st with a national semifinal rematch between Wisconsin and Texas. Get your tickets now to the Women's College Volleyball Showcase at Ticketmaster.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TURN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TURN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TURN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Finally, warmer weather, green grass, birds chirping. Don't spend your weekend surrounded by all that junk. Get your free, no obligation, same-day estimate from Two Men and a Junk Truck. You'll restore your sanity and reclaim your space when Two Men and a Junk Truck pulls in your driveway. Visit twomenandajuncktruck.com for your free, no obligation estimate today.
Keep what you love, ditch what you don't.
Save big money on everything for your next project at Menards. Finish your wood projects with Cabot Australian Timber Oil. It's perfect for decks, siding, and outdoor furniture while providing maximum penetration, durability, and water repellency. Save big on Cabot exterior stains at Menards, America's #1 home improvement retailer for customer satisfaction, according to J.D. Power. For J.D. Power 2024 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Save big money at Menards.
For it's On the Tee with Gabe Neitzel and Stephen Watson on 94.5 ESPN.
Golf season is still going on strong, but if you want to make sure you get out at one of the best courses, not just in Wisconsin, but in the country, you want to play Aaron Hills, head to their website, aaronhills.com. Charming overnight accommodations and championship golf experience, and 10th ranked public golf course in the nation, according to Golf Digest. Hosting the 2025 U.S. Women's Open Championship next year. Stephen loves it. I love it. It's one of our happy places, not just in Wisconsin, but on the planet as well. Play Aaron Hills. Learn more, aaronhills.com. One more question, Stephen, you said you had for me around the Open Championship here on the tee.
So Xander just won his second major.
Yep.
He now has a PGA
Mhm.
and an Open.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned Scotty. We debated who the best golfer in the world is. He has 2 Masters. Which golfer has the best chance to complete the next career Grand Slam?
Between those two or overall?
Overall.
Okay, so...
And I'll list off some of them.
Yeah.
Of course, you've got Rory, who needs the Masters.
Yep.
Spieth, who needs the PGA. Those are the 2 closest to achieving that.
Yep.
Bryson needs everything but U.S. Open. He's won 2 of those.
Yep.
Colin Morikawa, he needs a Masters and a U.S. Open. He won the PGA and the Open. Jon Rahm, he needs a PGA and the Open. Brooks Koepka needs a Masters and an Open.
So I still think it's Rory. I kind of lean towards just having to win one versus having to win two, especially when fields are as deep as they are right now in the major championships on the men's professional golf side. As much as I love Jordan, I feel at this point in his career, unless something drastically changes, about the only chance he's got is the Masters or the Open, where he can kind of just let it loose, be free. I think that's the only chance he's got. Rory, Rory's got some demons to conquer still at Augusta. But the thing about Rory is he's been relevant in these major championships for the last 10 years, and he hasn't won one. He won them before that, and he's still one of the 5 best players on the planet. I understand things did not go well for him at the Open, and he missed the cut, but so did Bryson. So did some of these other guys that you're talking about. So I lean towards just having to win the one versus the winning of two. So I say Rory, I think, is still the closest to winning the career Grand Slam.
You surprised me there. I thought that was a layup for you to say your boy Jordan Spieth. You don't think he can crank out one?
PGA? No. And honestly, it's not like he's a short hitter, but especially a lot of the courses that they're playing. And I know next year's Quail Hollow, it seems like being one of the 10 longest players in the world, 20 longest players in the world, seems like it's a prerequisite right now to win a PGA. I mean, I mentioned the speed that Xander has added. I don't think it was a coincidence that the PGA this year came down to Xander and Bryson, given especially how wet it was at times there. Yeah. So the course even plays longer. It seems like you have to be longer than Jordan is to kind of compete at a PGA.
It's crazy, and maybe it's just the recency bias, but I'm going to go with Xander because I think...
Because he's been top 10 there in every major championship.
Because I think the Open is the hardest one. And because of all these guys on here, a lot of them play well at Augusta. Mm-hmm. I think the Open is always the biggest wild card when it comes to who's going to win that major. And the fact that Xander just checked that one off, the PGA, of course, but he has the game to win a U.S. Open every single time he goes out there. He's just so solid. And then the Masters, he has always played well there.
Yeah, he's played well at Augusta because he can turn it over a little bit. And when you have a little power draw that he can hit, that plays really well at Augusta National. And the added length certainly is going to help him out there. I mean, he was close. He was close in 19, finished a shot back from Tiger. I think it was 2 years ago. He was real close again. This year he was right there. So, yeah, I think he's had a couple close calls at Augusta. He plays well there. Whereas, like, Bryson doesn't really play well at Augusta. This was one of his best finishes in a long time. I don't think that really solves a lot of things. Brooks has played well at the Masters. Pretty mixed bag results when we're talking about the British Open for him in terms of guys that have two. So, I mean, a lot of these guys, same thing with Bryson. I don't think Bryson's going to win a British Open anytime soon. So, Xander would definitely be the first one I go to, although, especially because we saw signs of life from him this week. I mean, the two that Rahm is missing, I think he can pick those up. He can pick off a British Open. His iron play is good enough certainly to do that, and he's one of the longer players as well if he ends up winning a PGA.
And I have to say, we talked about it last week, guys, that we were looking to see something out of at the Open. Credit to Jon Rahm. I thought he bounced back well, performed very well at the Open, and a very sneaky good major golf season for Colin Morikawa.
Yes.
He desperately needed that, because he was almost a wild card to be on the Ryder Cup team because of the golf season he had last year. Remember, he rattled off 2 quick majors, and that's what fascinates me moving forward about Xander is we have seen this trend in the past. You win too quickly. Mm-hmm. What do you do from there? And a lot of the guys on this list won too quickly.
And then how do you follow that up?
When can you win your third?
Yeah.
And those are all very good names on that list. This game's only getting better and stronger and harder to win these types of majors. There's a good chance that nobody on that list completes that career Grand Slam. But
very good chance.
I'm feeling X-Man right now.
Speaking of X, thank you to everybody here at X Golf American Family Field. Thank you to Andy Barrett for jumping on with us. Great food, great drink specials. Again, check them out, xgolfamfamfield.com. We'll be back next week with On the Tee.
Derek Jeter for American Family Insurance.
Life's better when you're under the American